Rendering still images from 3ds Max requires that you know your client and you know your client's needs and capabilities. We talked about the resolution, the horizontal and vertical pixel count of images. Still images are often used for viewing on the internet, and the lower the resolution that you can get away with, the more efficient it is for your viewer to be able to view those images. An image of 320 by 240, meaning 320 horizontal pixels, and 240 vertical pixels might be a very common and quick and easy image to render for viewing. Of course, on the internet, you could link the lower resolution image to a higher resolution image if you want, but it's still good to keep images for the web at a relatively low pixel count. For print, you may have to increase the resolution significantly. Now, this depends a lot on your printer and is not something that you just grab numbers out of a hat and go ahead and render. You need to understand the printer that's going to be used, the size of the print image that's going to be viewed. Then determine the best resolution for you to render to get that image to work. In rendering for print, you're usually using a much higher resolution image. They could be as large as 8,000 to 10,000 pixels. However, be careful that you don't render to a resolution that's too high, meaning a resolution that's higher than the printer can actually manage to use for printing. These extra pixels are just a waste of time and rendering resources. So be careful when making the decision about the image resolution for your print images. The file type is usually a bit easier to determine. Most new computers can view the most common image formats that 3ds Max can save. One image type that's very flexible is the PNG format, or Portable Network Graphic format. This is a compressed file, so it's relatively small, and they load relatively quickly on standard websites. This format is a very high quality format. Even though it's compressed, it is a lossless compression, meaning that the format doesn't discard any visual information in order to make the file smaller in size on the hard drive. For the internet, most people will tend to render to the JPEG format. I'd tend to advise against rendering directly to a JPEG image file from 3ds Max. The reason for that is the JPEG compression is not a lossless compression, meaning that when you save a JPEG file on your hard drive, the compression removes image information in order to make the file size smaller. Because of this, any editing you do after the fact in a third-party paint program will be working on an image that's already degraded. You generally want to be working on the highest quality image you can get when you're editing images. However, if you're going to save directly from 3ds Max to the JPEG format because you're going to save the file straight to the internet, make sure you test your JPEG file format quality options to obtain the best quality versus the smallest file size. If you're going to be rendering specifically for high quality image printing, a common image format is the TIFF image format. This format can be both compressed and uncompressed. The compressed version of the image format is lossless, similar to the PNG format. The advantage of this format is that it can contain additional image information regarding the dots per inch of the output image. This format is unique in this way and is a highly recommended image format if you plan on sending your file to a service bureau for printing.